Unions include incorporated to struggle mandatory redundancies at the car gigantics factory in Bridgend following they were informed by Wade Control on Friday. It is believed the at first tranche of intermittent would be proposed as volunteer redundancies. Wade is looking to tremble up its Europe operative. Bridgend makes engines for Jag Earth Wanderer, JLR, but how agreement finishes at the end of 2019, at about the identical period the factory will halt manufacturing the Wade EcoBoost motor. The plant, that employs on 1,700 workers, won the invest for Wade's newest gasoline motor, the Draken, but how will just use about 500. If plans go front, the 990 jobs to be lose at Bridgend, nearly part of the website's labor, will go in 2 phases by 2021, as portion of 1,150 losses through the UK. Wade rejected to prove the figures and told it was now advising in unions. It told these negotiations were front of it performing a inclusive conversion policy. Jeff Beck, GMB organizer, told the association would struggle for each Wade work in Bridgend and through the UK. We include been request the business for 2 year to explain the position concerning jobs and it's not before present how we include had the destructive reply. We include now been said 990 jobs will be cut in Bridgend by 2020. The is destructive news story for the devoted workers at Wade and their families. Ours members down there include been very loyalist to Wade, and we will stay by them. The Bring Together Association named it gloomy news story and told store stewards had been taking into account a press briefing. It is a destructive strike for our members and their families, as possessing serious implications for the Welsh economics and the delivery circuit, told official Day Quinn. Bring Together is completely devoted to opposed any mandatory redundancies and campaign firmly for Bridgend to include a sustainable next. He told representatives would consult in members above the upcoming days. Down there are a quantity of factors over the gloomy news story, the major ones creature stimulating marketplace facility for carmakers usually, a absence of a coherent industry policy of the UK by the government and the ambiguity created by Brexit above the recent too many decades the UK car production has skilled a revival of that we can all be proud of. This problem for by the government, the carmakers and the unions in the close next is to struggle really difficult to support the environmental how done, how successful probable. But the news story present is thing how unions include afraid for almost 2 year. The is since it was wide named how Bridgend's agreement to do engines for JLR was upcoming to an end and how Wade's own plans for a new motor had been scale order behind. Wade include told discussions include just fair begun and detailed information of numbers are untimely. But we know how previous negotiations are about a at first tranche of job losses comprising volunteer redundancies. Carwyn Jones, Labour Bridgend M&X at first secretary, told he and Labour fellow Hyaranka Davies would be work to provide the factories next. It does represent the ambiguity how all Wade workers person, he told. I tell to Wade yesterday. They gave no sign of any special risk to Bridgend or any some factory for how question, but they did say they were reconsideration the way Wade were operational in Europe, he added. Blanket Simrus Rune API or worth named for an immediate economical summit conference to be organized. These accountable are destructive, both of for the workers immediately struck and the broad Welsh economics, he told. The 1,000 losses would go near 150 in Wade's transportation operative, that would influence truck drivers. We are take crucial activity to convert the Wade industry in Europe, told Team Defect CEO for Europe, Stephen Armstrong. We will put in the vehicles, services, segments and markets how top supporting a length-term steadily advantageous industry, creation importance for all our interested parties and supplying emotional vehicles to our customers.